number you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep. Hey.
Oh, I love your toenails.
Thank you. So, oh my God, you're tall and I'm short. Exactly.
Hi.
Hey, people. We're having brunch with Andrea today, Andrea Horwath. So I just figured I'd take you guys along. That's Camille. Say hi to Camille. She's an RPN. She is going to give it to her today. I'm just kidding. It's gonna be friendly. Anyways, we're leaving Camille's crib right now and we're heading out. The bus thing.
Yeah. Strong.
We're at the bluffs. Down on the bluffs. It smells so fishy down here. I guess this is where.
And here's her bus.
Yeah, there is her bus. Do you want to go pose beside it?
No problem. Closing.
That might just be my thumbnail. Okay.
Hi, I'm Kingsley Kwok for the NDP in Markham-Stouffville. Want to say hello to everyone and remind you to come out to vote for the NDP on June 2nd.
So I want to know from you, sir, how do you see long-term care in the near future?
For the NDP, we really thought that the Ford Conservatives dropped the ball with long-term care. There were so many long-term care facilities that were not ready for the pandemic. They didn't have enough personal support workers or nurses, and then when the pandemic came, there were not enough personal protective equipment, and we are still waiting for the government to improve.
And that's fine.
And the NDP, we are opposed to all these privately owned long-term care facilities, which saw the most mortalities from the pandemic. So we want to end private ownership of long-term care, increase service hours on patients, and hire more personal support workers.
So here are my sisters that I'm here with. And you are?
I'm Stephanie Williams.
And you?
I represent SEIU. I am the executive board member representing our geographical area, Region 4. Hello, Region 4.
And you are?
Donna Thomas, work at North York General as a member organizer out with the union.
And you are? Everybody knows this lady. I've featured her before.
I'm Fahima Jamal. I work at long-term care.
Thank you, Fahima.
You're welcome, Kelly.
And guys, this is kind of an overview of what the place is looking like. I actually saw and passed Andrea, but I didn't get the chance to say hi because she was in deep conversation with other folks. Anyways, I'll check in back with you people and let you know what's going on, okay?
Yeah, my name is Ratisha Rampat-Siku and I work for IEM District 78.
My name is Vivian Simon. I'm out on a rep mentoring program from IEM 78.
Hi there, I'm Fred Hahn from QB Ontario. So proud to be here with so many other folks, including amazing activists from the SCIU. We're so proud to be working together in lockstep in collective bargaining for healthcare workers. We know Bill 124 has to go. We know Doug Ford has to go. And it's why we're here, to help build momentum when there's a week left to election day, because we can have the province we deserve.
So Fred, what would you say to healthcare workers like the dietary, the housekeeping, the laundry, who did not receive the $3 increase? I mean, the price of bread is the same for every classification.
Absolutely. What Doug Ford did is plant a seed of division inside our bargaining units, picking some workers as though they're worthy and ignoring others. It's because he doesn't understand that in healthcare we're a team. Everyone works together. Everyone is valued. everyone deserves to be recognized with proper wages and better working conditions.
Fred, let me ask you this. We're still in the pandemic, but as you know, healthcare workers, they went through a lot. How can your party assist us in mental health issues? Because that in itself is going to be a pandemic.
It's going to be gigantic. There are so many stressors that our healthcare workers and others have been through in the last 2 years, and mental health supports are key. It's why the NDP's plan to make mental health part of the public healthcare system so that you can access it with your OHIP card. You don't have to pay with a credit card. Is going to be so important. And no matter who wins this election, you can count on Kipi to be working with the SEIU to get the supports and the respect that our members deserve.
So Fred, when we talk about the dietary, the housekeeping, and the laundries, they feel left out because the only people the politicians are talking about presently are the nurses and the PSW. What do you say to those people who feel left out?
There is no way our hospitals would run without people who work in dietary, without our custodians and cleaners, without all of the admin staff, without all those important jobs who are actually the backbone of the healthcare system. And it is shocking that Doug Ford chose to ignore these workers. But our unions, both SEIU and QP, know the value of this work, and we are going to make sure that we work hard to make sure that the government sees the value of this work as well.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me.
Hi, my name's Amy Rettinger. I am a member of SEIU Healthcare. I work at the Dearness Home in the City of London. It's a municipally funded and owned home. I'm right now currently helping out with the organizing team, getting out, touching base with our members, getting everyone engaged. I'm very fortunate to be able to come to an event like this to support NDP.
So Amy, you're municipally funded, are you?
We are a municipally funded facility.
Can I ask you, what's the difference between the municipal funding buildings and the private owned buildings?
Well, there's different levels of funding envelopes that come out. So we are owned and operated by the City of London, primarily funded by taxpayers, meaning that our budgets are a little bigger. We tend to have larger staffing complements. Some of these smaller privately owned facilities, we've all heard about shareholders getting rich over this period of the pandemic. There's a little bit more accountability when you're working for a municipally funded facility. Also, the wages tend to be a little bit higher for retainment, retention, and then of course just the overseeing layers. So we still report to, compliance, Ministry of Health, but then we also report to the council and to the shareholders, which are the taxpayers of our community.
In a nutshell, would you say it's better to work for a municipal home than for the for-profit?
I definitely promote all long-term care facilities, in my opinion, should be municipally funded. That way the government can keep an eye on where the money's going. It's going to stop these private shareholders from getting rich on the broken backs of our workers. And I definitely feel that just a higher standard of care in municipally funded facilities. I'm definitely a firm believer behind the municipalities funding all long-term care facilities.
So would you say the workload is lighter in the municipalities than the for-profit?
We still have the same challenges as some of the other facilities with regards to a lot of younger people coming in now, a lot more mental health clients coming into our facilities. But because our wages tend to be a bit higher, our staffing complement does tend to be a little higher than some of the other facilities. Of course, right now in healthcare, staffing is a huge issue. So looking to engage and retain those people, you got to pay them the wage, and the only way to do that is through municipal or government-funded programs.
She's a minister of education. Thank you so much.
For that amazing welcome, and thank you all of you for your warmth and kindness. I appreciate you and so glad to see you all today. So as a teacher, I've seen firsthand what happens when governments don't invest in our communities. For decades, starting with the Mike Harris Conservatives, going up to Ford's, PC governments have cut education. They've left kids and education workers and our families to pick up the pieces. And the Liberals, they refuse to step up and fix what's broken. They had 15 years. How many years? 15 years to make things better for us, and they chose not to. And they left behind a $15.8 billion school repair backlog. So big classes, less education workers, and less support for our kids. But the good news is, we can fix what's broken. Right now, who's ready to work for you?
Thank you, friends. Thank you, sisters and brothers. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Dolly. Thank all of you. That's what this is all about. Thanking you this morning. I want to start by saying they gave me a 16-page speech. So strap in. Yeah. I'm not kidding. I decided to
speak from your heart, honey.
I decided to get it down.
Speak from your heart. That's right.
Absolutely, absolutely. And my heart is saying thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of you. This breakfast this morning is really to say we have seen the work that you have done for many, many years before the pandemic hit. You've been there for our communities, for our kids, for our families, for all of us in the work that you do. Whether you work in the transit system and got people back and forth to work during the pandemic, whether you work in a hospital, whether you work in a lab, whether you work in the schools that Felicia was just talking about, whether you were making sure that our supply chain was continuing, whether you were making sure that people could still go to the grocery store and buy food to put on their tables during the COVID-19 pandemic, in all of the jobs that all of you have been doing before COVID-19, but also during COVID-19, you have never let Ontarians down.
Go on. So, Felicia, if there is one thing you want to leave my viewers with, what would that be? And I need it to be more personal, like about you and the upcoming election. What would that one or two things be that you would want my viewers or the membership, the healthcare professionals and the general public, what would you like them to know about you and your platform that you stand for?
Well, I'm at a point in my life where I'm not here to play. I'm here to make sure that I deliver and make sure that everyone around me delivers in the Ontario NDP caucus. We're ready to form government. We're ready to do the things that have not been done for decades. And I'm running because I'm sick of being neglected. I'm in Scarborough. And when you go all over Scarborough, you hear the same thing. No one cares about us. No one pays attention to us. And I've lived that reality. That's why I've done the activism around transit and civic engagement. In my classroom, I'm working with communities to make sure that kids are heard, their families are heard, and that they're able to navigate the system better. And for me, it's about helping us move forward. And I'm really dedicated to that work. And like I said, I'm at a point in my life now, I'm not here to play, I'm here to make sure I deliver. And that's the biggest thing I want to share with folks, and know that I am going to be in community. I want to make sure we are mobilizing, we are organizing. This is not about sitting up in Queen's Park and not having any legitimate basis when you're speaking. It's about bringing community voices forward, making sure I'm seeing folks every single day. And that is the promise I make to folks at the door. You will see me, we will speak. We're going to come together around issues, and that is how we're going to get power and make sure our voices are heard at Queen's Park. So all the way from Scarborough to downtown, they're going to really know what our issues are and what we want. And I'm going to bring our authentic voice forward just by being in community and making sure I'm talking to everybody.
So come June 2nd, what would you say?
Come June 2nd, vote for me, vote for the Ontario NDP and your candidate in your riding. and make sure that you get your friends and family to do the same. We can win this. We don't have to choose those other two because we're tired, we're scared, or we're tired, or we're disengaged. Choose the NDP and you will see a difference. I can promise you that.
I want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
This is Felicia People, and isn't she gorgeous?
Vote
for her.
Thanks, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. I'm John Donino, the president of ATU Canada. With me today is Marvin Alford, the president of ATU Local 113 in the City of Toronto. And beside him is Rob Cormier, the president of Local 1587, Go Transit Bus Operations. We're here today to support the NDP and Andrea Horwath. They are the only party that will invest in public transit and will move our agenda to get safe, reliable, and affordable transit for all Ontarians across this province. We're support the NDP. Let's make a difference. Let's vote Andrea Horwath as our next premier.
I have a question for you. So where do you see the transit system going if Premier Ford is elected?
Well, look, the provincial government has failed public transit historically over many, many years. The NDP has committed to a 50-50 subsidy for the operations of public transit. It is important and imperative for the sustainability of public transit that we get those operational dollars today and we move the agenda to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable transit, again, for all Ontarians.
Is it
She's
possible?
going to have to go very quick. You want to just do a quick hello?
Yeah, I just want to do a quick hello.
For us.
Hi, Andrea. Can you just say a quick hi to SEIU?
Hi, SEIU. Thank you for all the work you've been doing. Your work is so much appreciated, and make sure you get out to vote and we can fix what's broken in our healthcare system and all of the wonderful things that you do. You'll be feeling proud of that, you'll be properly paid, and you'll make sure that all of the folks that you work with understand how much we value you.
Andrea, what do you say to the classifications who feel like the politicians are not talking about them, only to the RPNs and the PSWs? What do you say to the dietary, the laundry, the housekeepers?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Every single person that's working in long-term care or in home care or in community care deserves to have a decent wage that pays the bills and that supports the work that you do so that you can support your own families with benefits, with proper pensions, with full-time hours. That's what a good job looks like, and that's what we're going to make sure is happening in your jobs.
What do you think about the $3 that were given to the PSWs?
So what I think is that people deserve a much better wage. All PSWs do, and we've made the commitment around $25, but I understand that there are other workers within the system that also need wage increases.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Look at my girls, look at them. I'm so loving them. They make sure that I got all the interviews.
That's right.
People.
That's right.
Say ciao.
That's what we're here for. Ciao, baby.